Amy Fuselier, and this is Jenny Falk, and we are both pediatric occupational therapists at Abilities. And because it's OT month, this month we wanted to share a few tips on calming and alerting strategies for children at home, at school, and in the community. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about use of calming strategies for the child who's often anxious or hyper and overwhelmed, and for alerting the child who is often slow to go, sluggish, and maybe needs a little pep in their step. You know, whether your child has a diagnosis of autism or ADHD, sensory processing disorders, or learning disabilities, all of these strategies can be effective for pretty much all children. So it's important to consider what times of day the children may need these inputs, patterns of behavior, sensory preferences, and aversions, so that you can figure out ways to practically incorporate it into consistent routines throughout the day. And when you think about it, as adults, we do this unconsciously every day. We use calming strategies and alerting strategies to help us maintain that optimal level of alertness, like chewing on a pencil, having a crunchy snack, fidgeting with things while we're listening to a lecture, to taking a warm bath before bed. So with children, it's the same concept, and it's important for us as parents and teachers to develop observational skills where we can figure out what does our child use to help calm themselves down, and what do they use to alert themselves, and how can we incorporate that into the day in a socially acceptable way. So the child who can benefit from calming activities would be the one who jumps out of bed in the morning, is on the go all the time, considered hyper or anxious, overwhelmed, and they have difficulty focusing on their schoolwork. They have difficulty completing their homework and settling down to bed. And then the children who can benefit from learning activities would be those children who are slow to get out of bed, they're slow to get dressed in the morning, complete morning routines. They have difficulty finishing classroom assignments at school, and they usually have difficulty finishing their homework. So Jenny is going to talk about some more specific calming and alerting activities that you can incorporate into your day, in the morning, at school, after school, at dinner time, and bed and bath time.
Right. So I'm going to talk about what are calming inputs and what are alerting inputs. And as Amy said, these are good for most children, even neurotypical children. And not everybody is going to be in one category or the other. Oftentimes, depending on the time of day, you can have a kid that's super sluggish in the morning but super hyper in the afternoon. So you'll just have to gauge your child and what would be best for him or her. For example, in the morning, things to calm down a kid that wakes up and is ready to go include slow and even tempo music. Think about slow sing-song voice, dim lighting, deep touch pressure or massage, and clothing preferences, including remembering that kids don't really like scratchy and itchy clothing. They're sort of very sensitive to the line in the sock. There are special socks that you can buy. Clothing for school is often scratchy and itchy or has buttons. Think about an undershirt or something more comfortable that they can wear under that. So on the converse, alerting input for the kids that are really, really difficult to wake up are sort of just the opposite of those. So fast tempo music, bright lights. Think about breakfast food. So if you're gonna drink something like orange juice or grapefruit juice, something that's sour, that has a lot of input, that's more alerting, it'll wake you up, or having crunchy or spicy foods in the morning. Then moving to school, some calming inputs at school, we have some examples of a weighted lap pad that the child can wear in their lap, or a weighted vest, and also a compression vest. These are things that children can wear who might need a little bit of extra input to their body to help calm themselves down. Tactile fidgets are actually both calming and alerting. They're good for both types of children. This is one of my favorite tactile fidgets. This is another great tactile fidget. Again, these are things that you'll have to speak with your particular school and your teacher before incorporating, but they're really great for managing behaviors throughout the day. Another thing that's a calming activity, this is called TheraBand. You can wrap this around the bottom of a chair, and it can be sort of an input for feet. for feet that are kind of constantly moving. It can give them some resistance. Another really great idea for school is to have a quiet corner, and you can again talk to your teacher about this, about perhaps having a tent or something where a child can go and retreat if they're overstimulated. Conversely, alerting inputs at school include taking movement breaks. Again, the tactile fidgets, they're good on both ends of the spectrum. Having an increased voice volume, or touching a child to alert them to what's going on in their surroundings. And then having visual stimulation, bright colors, just everything bright and loud. Those are going to be your alerting inputs. Moving through your day to after school, for the kid that comes home from school and sort of explodes just with being overwhelmed, those are the kind of kids that are going to need some calming inputs. So having slow rhythmical movements, being able to sip on a squirt bottle, thinking about that sucking reflex that's present from birth, that's very calming. So if you give them a sort of a squirt bottle to suck on, that's very, very calming. Having a quiet environment and calming movement, again, or calming music. Thinking about the environment and what you can do to change your environment to sort of facilitate your child's optimal performance. Another calming input is heavy work or exercise. So anytime you get your kid to sort of lift something that's heavy or push something that's heavy, pull something, you can play games like tug of war. You can put some weights in a laundry basket and pretend it's a car, drive it around the house. Those sorts of things are going to be really calming because they provide that heavy work. On the other end of the spectrum, the alerting input for after school, movement that is fast or irregular, spinning, fast swinging. Cold temperatures are very alerting. Think about, when you were in high school or in college and they cranked the AC down so that you could write your notes. Same concept. Crank the AC down at home. Wake your kids up. Have them at their optimal state of arousal. Loud talking, loud singing, tickling, or light touch. Those are very alerting activities. Moving through your day to dinner time. Calming activities for dinner include eating chewy foods or drinking thick liquids from a straw like milkshakes or smoothies. No television during dinner time. Television is something that's highly alerting. It's alerting both visually and auditorily. So turn the TV off, have calming music on in the background. And then for alerting activities during dinner time, you can use a move and sit chair cushion. This can kind of give a kid some input to have that dynamic seating to wake them up. You can have spicy or full flavored food options. Those are things that are highly alerting. And then also vibration. Vibratory input to the face and the body is highly alerting, so you can use vibration as well. Again, going even further into the day to bedtime and bath time. You're not going to want to use any alerting inputs because this is the time of the day where we're supposed to calm down. We're getting ready for bath and getting ready for bed. So a warm bath is very calming. That deep touch pressure massage is very calming. Halogen lighting as opposed to incandescent lighting as opposed to fluorescent. Having a rocking chair or bed sheets with lycra or a weighted blanket. All these are very, very calming activities at bedtime. And again, the alerting inputs at bedtime, avoid them about an hour prior to winding down and getting your kids ready to go to sleep.
So these ideas may seem simple, and they really are. It just takes some conscious effort to figure out, play detective and figure out what your child needs at what times of day they need them so that they're able to do what they need to be able to do when they need to be able to do it. Remember to try and incorporate these strategies into a consistent routine that will make it easier for you to keep it consistent. And always consult with the teacher or your school before implementing these strategies at school. So we hope this has been helpful for you. We also will be posting some of our favorite websites so that you can purchase items
in addition to this information.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.